Right guys, so today I'm going to make a dish in here that's going to cook for a while on the hob and then it's going to go into the oven. So I'm going to make herby chicken. So I've got some mushrooms. I'm giving you a list of what I've got here, you don't have to put all this in. So I've got some chestnut mushrooms, some chicken stock which is still partially frozen, that's what I made and I've potted up. Some celery, garlic puree, by all means use garlic cloves, an onion, carrots, Dijon mustard, olive oil, oyster sauce, thyme, mixed herbs, onion, garlic and pepper. I've got some plain flour to thicken it up. I've got some leeks. You're going to have to excuse any noises that you can hear from my children. We have all tested positive in the last 2 days for COVID, so they are home from school. They're not acting like they've got COVID because they're kids. Me and my husband are feeling it, but not so much those. I've got how much is this? I'm trying to think. These have been frozen, by the way, which is why they're wet and probably looks like they're out of date, but they're not. It just says family pack. Where am I? Oh, it's bloody there, look. 600 grams. And I've also defrosted some cooking bacon. And there's 500 grams here, but I'm not going to use all this. I'm just going to snip in what I think is needed. Also, when it goes into the oven, I'm going to put onto the top some Hasselback potatoes. Then I haven't got to use a separate pot for cooking later. Okay, so I'm just going to move all this and set the oven up and we'll get to it. Right guys, I'm going to chop up. You'll have to bear with me, like I said, we're all not very well, so I'll keep making these for as long as I can. I'm going to put some olive oil into this pan. See how this is going to go. And I'm going to turn this pan onto low. This is not fully defrosted, but it doesn't matter so long as it's boneless. All I'm going to do is chop the tenderloins in half. I'm going to have this cooking in the oven for about maybe 2.5 to 3 hours. I'm not going to add salt in because I've got some bacon, some cooking bacon. And I would always advise, I mean, that's 500 grams of bacon there, cooking bacon. Yes, you can have some rubbish in it, but it's 500 grams and it's about 80 pence. I would much rather pay that and use that in cooking than buy the decent stuff. Just checking my hob was lit then. Keep forgetting it takes a couple of minutes to get through these pans. Anyway. So yeah, I'd always advise to use the cooking bacon. Damn sight cheaper. There we go. That's the chicken. That will be my container now for all my rubbish. Just going to open this cooking bacon up. See what we've got. Sometimes you get lucky and you get like gammon pieces. Other times you'll get great big lumps of well sliced bacon. It just depends what you get on that day. I mean, these are like, look at these. It's like belly pork. these will be great in there. like lardons. This cooking bacon doesn't taste any different to the stuff you put in your bacon sandwiches or on your fryer. Speaking of which, actually, I'm doing a full English just for those like from other countries that don't know what it is. So I am going to do a full English some point this week. That's assuming with this COVID that I don't go downhill, sort of thing. But we will still try to get these out for you. I mean, this is what we're having for tea anyway, so I figured I may as well record it. See, this piece here wasn't as good, but I'm quite happy to trim it. And the little bit of fat that's left on it will happily melt down. So I'll cut this piece of fat off. And that's good enough to go in the pan. And that's it, that's enough bacon. Just going to wash my hands, guys, I won't be a sec. Grab a spoon. There we go. Lovely. Turn that up a little bit. The amount I put in now is what I would like in my meal. It doesn't have to, this is garlic puree. It doesn't have to be the amount that you would eat. You can change it up. Or you can leave it out. I mean, you're not forced to put it in. Going to put in 2 teaspoons of Dijon mustard. Not really going to be able to taste this Dijon over much, so I won't worry that all those out there that really don't like it. So I'm going to put about a teaspoon of garlic powder, about the same in onion powder. Mixed herbs, tablespoon. Thyme, teaspoon. I've got some black pepper, about a teaspoon. This already smells great. Making me hungry now. So for the time being, I'm going to let this cook. While I get on chopping up some veggies. So, just to fill in the time and all that rubbish. It was my daughter, 8-year-old daughter, that was confirmed as COVID first. That was Monday, we're now on Wednesday. And government states siblings must still attend school, which I think is disgusting, but there you go. Government guidelines. I've just washed the celery, guys. I've got 3 stalks. Anyway, so we lateral flowed a sister, negative, sent her to school. Lateral flow again when she come home, negative. Again the next morning, negative, went to school. And then after school, it was positive. So she spent 2 days at school through no fault of myself or herself, because government insists they've got to go to school. So how many has been infected now, I wonder? And then their family members and stuff like that. I mean, I think it's awful. But husband did a PCR on Monday and it came back as negative. And that was a PCR on Monday. He did a lateral flow last night, which is Tuesday night, and it was positive. He had the shivers all night, he said, in bed. He couldn't warm up. He even had the kids fleeces over the bed and all sorts. He had all his clothes on. Right guys, just stop that right there. But mushrooms, I don't wash them. I just take the outer side off. Mushrooms are like sponges, they'll soak up all the water you use. Or you can wipe them with a damp cloth, that works as well. But anyway, like I was saying, so his Tuesday evening, last night, turned out to be positive. Retested me, negative. Last couple of days, I thought to myself, I mean, I have a lot of medical issues. I do state that in the about section, but I thought to myself, bloody hell, I feel tireder than I normally bloody do. Anyway, test me this morning, mine's positive for a lateral flow. So I've just sent my PCR off as well. It's absolutely ridiculous. The kids have passed it on to us that quickly, and they say that people in the household can still go to work until they've had a PCR test come back and it says that they've got it. Oh. We're heading for another full shutdown, guys, I reckon. Everyone in the house can still leave the house until a PCR says that you're positive. You know, ridiculous. I understand the need for education and stuff like that, but still. This corona thing's nothing to be messed with. Like I say, people with pre-existing conditions such as myself, my husband, it's a worry. So, I'm going to use all of these mushrooms, guys. All 250 grams. Sorry, I was just ranting. I just find it annoying that the government sees us as figures, numbers, and not as people, basically. Anyway, I'm going to use all 250 grams of these mushrooms. Stir, that's nearly cooked now. Really don't take long in these pans at all. So, peel this. So, a few of you have been in the comments and said that you've cooked, I mean some of you have cooked 7, 8, 9 of the recipes that I've put out and liked them, so I'm curious as to how many of you, others of you, tried the recipes. How did you get on? Did you find them easy? Did you like them? Did you do it the exact same way? So let me know in the comments. Right, last one. Right. So, I'm going to put in some Worcestershire sauce now. And I'm going to put in some flour. Please remember to cook this for a couple of minutes to cook off that raw flour taste. Once I've cooked it for a couple of minutes, I'm going to throw the stock in that I made. This stock on its own is not going to be enough liquid. So I will need to add more. You see where it browns and catches here. It'll help to colour your sauce, your gravy, whatever you want to call it. So this is not fully defrosted yet, but it won't take long in there. That I made myself. All I did was I had a chicken stew, so I had the chicken carcass. I added that into this pan, filled it up with water to here, added in some carrot, celery and onion and cooked it and kept topping up that water and cooked it for about 3.5, 4 hours. And that's the third pot of stock that I've used. And I've still got more in the freezer. You see it's not fully frozen, look. I mean, this is just a silicone spatula, so. So you can see it's giving me some liquid, but it's nowhere near enough. The vegetables will give me some liquid. What I'm just going to add to that is, ow, I whacked to my elbow, sorry. I am going to add to that, before I add some more liquid, there's a heaping tablespoon of chicken bisto, just to make it that bit more rich. And then I'm going to add look at that, lovely. Then I'm going to add some water. And I'm going to chuck in them mushrooms and the celery. Slice up these carrots now. I don't peel carrots. If you look it up, you'll find most of the vitamins and stuff in or just under the skin. So I'll leave the skins on. I'm 42. If it hadn't hurt me by now, it's not going to, so. That's the carrots in now. Onion. That in. You can see it hasn't really took long at all to get this done. And to know that I can just pop it in the oven and leave it, and my tea's going to be ready later. No fuss. Is a relief, to be perfectly honest. So I'm going to use 1 leek. It's a good size leek, so I'll take that out and layer off. Then I'm going to run my knife down the middle, flip it over and do the same again. And I find this is the easiest way to wash them. Because they just open up like a fan. And then when you come to chop them, they're in little pieces then. Chicken and vegetables. Pretty healthy right there, guys. And I've used what is in my fridge. The only thing I had to buy was mushrooms. I had everything else, so cheap as well. So I'm going to wash the pot, allow that to cook for a bit, and then I'll bring you back. Okay? Right guys, so I'm just about to put this into the oven, but what I've got is some Hasselback potatoes which I'm just putting in. Ideally I'd have liked them a little bit smaller, but for those who don't know what Hasselback potatoes are, it's literally a potato that you have sliced and it should open up. So if I bring you this way a little bit, you see? Right, So make sure you wash all your potatoes. You just need to literally just slice just over halfway down the potato. Slice all the way through. Don't worry about it. It's just a potato at the end of the day. I'm going to turn mine now because I've got to where I wasn't comfortable with the knife. So again, you can see all I've done is slice it. That's some fry light. And that'll be for when I take the lid off this. So ideally I want to make sure that they're all cooked, yeah? So I'm going to put the lid back on now. And into the oven. On gas mark 5 now. I'm going to put it in for an hour and see if the potatoes are cooked. If they're cooked, I'm going to take the lid off and then it'll start to brown them Hasselback potatoes, hopefully. Okay, I'll see you and I'll show you then when it happens. So into the oven now for an hour on gas mark 5. Right, so I've just took it out of the oven. I'm just going to check to see how well the potatoes are cooked. You can see the more defined lines now. But when I put it back in the oven, I'm not going to, well, depending on the potatoes. Need to make, yeah, they're cooked. So now because they're cooked, I'm going to put it back in with the lid off. And what that will do is concentrate all the gravy down. Ooh, bacon. Yeah, I'm distracted. So it'll concentrate all the bacon, all the gravy down, and these will stick out more, and these will all start to go crispy across the top and fan open a little bit. I mean, so yeah, so that's now what I'm going to do. So we had an hour in there at gas 5 with the lid on, and that was enough to cook those potatoes through. So now I'm going to put it in without the lid on. And I'll let you know how long it took when I take it out. Okay. Right guys, as you can see this is still bubbling. Don't worry about the outside, that's just where the gravy is baked onto the bowl. But there you have it. That right there. I'm just trying to adjust the camera. There we go. There we go. That's your chicken and vegetable. What to call it? Chicken and vegetable dish. Casserole. Chicken and vegetable casserole. With Hasselback potatoes. These. Turn this off. And this off. Pretty background noises. Can you hear that? They're definitely crispy on. Right, done the pictures. The stuff we have to do. So, try not to scold myself here. So the top of your potatoes are going to be crispy, but obviously the ones that have been sat in the gravy at the bottom, it's not going to be crispy. It's going to be cooked, but it's not going to be crispy. Oh, he edits these, he's going to know now that I've just done that with that spoon. Look at that. Absolutely blooming gorge. And I've had to do nothing, absolutely nothing since I put it in. Just check on it. So you have it. I think that looks rather nice. What do you reckon, guys? Anyway, if you like this video, you want to give it a try, like, comment, subscribe. I'd love to hear your feedback, and I'll see you in the next one. Bye.